Kia ora tātou, welcome back to the Wargaming Den. This week's game we have the 6th battle in my Battles for Monte Cassino bolt action campaign. The action turning to the defensive action by the 3rd Battalion Coldstream Guards. Let's take a look at the context that this game takes place in. So the British had forced the crossing of the Garigliano and had captured Minturno in our last game, but they were hampered by the fact that the bridges that they built across the river were under observation by the Germans and were shelled whenever vehicles tried to approach the crossings in daylight, so they could only use them at night really. Although 5th Division had successfully created a bridgehead, they started to encounter strong counterattacks from the 29th and 90th Panzer Grenadier divisions, as well as from elements of the Hermann Göring Panzer Division. And the Germans' plan was to drive the British back over the river. So on the 21st of January, the 201st Brigade was attached to the 5th Division. This consisted of the 6th Grenadier Guards, the 3rd Coldstream Guards, and the 2nd Scots Guards. And the Coldstream Guards took positions, as we can see on my map, round the town of Trimonsouli, and over the next couple of weeks they fought off a number of German counterattacks. So this is the action that today's game is going to be representing parts of. Right, moving on. And I thought this Google map, which I'll briefly show, this is the area that we're focusing on, but gives a really good representation of the difficulty of the terrain. So here's the river here, here's the flat plains on the Allied side of the river, and then this is where the British have made their bridgehead. They've made it to Minturno in the foothills here, and actually the battles over the next couple of weeks take place on this ridge. But as you can see here, all around the mountains were dominating the British positions, and this is where the Germans had their artillery observers and were able to range an artillery pretty much at will on the British trying to use the bridges across the river. So and this is as far as this particular British attack made it. They wanted to get up here to Estonia, and then they'd be able to drive towards Highway 6. Road along here is Highway 7, another major artery, the old Roman road, the Apina, I think it's called. So yeah, so this is the action, the area where we're going to be playing today's game. The defending forces elements of the 3rd Battalion Coldstream Guards. It's a 1500 point force consisting of an reinforced infantry platoon and a troop of tanks that have been attached. So I've got 2 Shermans and a Staghound as the armoured support. I've got the medium machine gun and mortar, carrier and 6-pounder, 3 rifle sections, section of engineers, HQ, Piet and observer. So 14 units for the British. And next up we have the attacking German elements representing part of the 115th Panzer Grenadier Regiment. So this is a tank wars force, so it's got 3 Panzer IVs and a 233 heavy armoured car. And yeah, I haven't added transports. These infantry have debussed from their trucks to support the tank. So I've got 3 squads, each has got 1 or 2 light machine guns with them, mortar, medium machine gun and HQ. So the Germans only have 10 attacking units, so they're outnumbered, but they are quality veteran troops. Now I miscounted when it came to deployment. The British potentially could have had an additional unit on board, but they've got a section and a medium machine gun defending this ruined building, which is one of the objectives, 6-pounder covering the Highway 7, medium mortar with an observer further forward. They're down on the back side of the hill, so can't really be spotted. Second section is in this ruined building here. The third section is deployed in front of the building, which also has the lieutenant and the artillery observers on the upper floor there. So this is a hilly section here. This is a big hill, and there's another hill over here, not that visible from this particular angle. But the Germans are going to be attacking up the road and across from the lowlands up towards the fortified British positions. Right. The German preliminary bombardment pinned all the units, there's medium machine gun up there, and those infantry were both took 2 pins. Infantry here took 1 pin, the mortar took 2, and the 6-pounder took a direct hit, so one of the crewmen was lost and also had 2 pins put on it.
Turn 1. Germans are advancing onto the board. Machine gun set up in the building, mortar in behind. Infantry advancing into the woods. Main attack coming on this flank. 2 Panzer IVs and a 233 armoured car advancing with 2 Panzer Grenadier squads. British side, they got hit by a preliminary bombardment. Most of the units were pinned, a few of them went down, and the 6-pounder took a hit. Not a great deal of action though on turn 1. The yellow marker there is where the bombardment is due to come in. Let's have a look and see if it arrives at the beginning of turn 2, and indeed it does.
So here we go. Germans pushing up on their right flank. Panzer and supporting Panzer Grenadiers heading up towards this wood to try and use the terrain to mask their advance onto this objective here. The other squad supporting the Panzer IV and the 233s advanced and just taking a pot shot at the dug-in and hidden infantry. Other Grenadiers are moving through this wooded area here up towards the base of the hill, and then in this building is a medium machine gun, and behind it is the mortar. The British mortar went down, failed its order. I forgot on turn 1 that guards get to re-roll failed orders, and that was actually part of the those rules I really enjoyed. I think I'll play the guards more often. And again, the 6-pounder went down when it tried to open up over here as well. So not a great deal of action. Germans have just been sighted and are starting to advance on the Coldstream Guard positions.
Turn 2 completed. The British reserves are coming on. Staghound fired and missed the 233. In return it got hit by the Panzer IV, and it was damaged and its turret is now stuck. Sherman came on here, fired at the 233, destroyed it. Panzer IV advancing with Panzer Grenadiers behind it. Panzer Grenadiers advancing in the fields. Over here, Sherman advanced, took a shot at the Panzer IV over there but missed. It hit it but non-damaging shot. Over here, the German mortar ranged in on the infantry in the foxholes, killed one, and the machine gun opened up as well and taken a couple of wounds. They rallied, but then have taken some pins since then, even though they're dug in and hidden. Panzer Grenadiers advancing into the open, supported by the Panzer IV that is on ambush waiting for the Sherman to appear. So there we have it. Turn 2 completed.
Right, so the mortar, once again, at this time I remembered that it was guards, but still failed its orders. Sherman and 6-pounder was shooting over here at the advancing panzers. There's a Sherman just in the frame there, and that took out the 233. A couple of units have gone on ambush over here. Panzer Grenadiers advanced out of the wood, supported by the Panzer IV over here that had gone on ambush, worried that a Sherman may appear, and the medium machine gun in here in the mortar were shooting at this section in the foxholes in front of the building, and the mortar ranged in and did 1 wound. So a few pins were put on this unit. They got rid of the pins and with rallying, and then additional pins were put on after that. But yes, the British have good lines of sight from the higher ground for this particular battle.
Turn 3. Germans continued trying to put pressure on that front dug-in section. Did some more casualties on them. British Sherman trading shots with the Panzer IV over here, both missed. Panzer and the Staghound both missed each other as well. Panzer Grenadiers advancing into the wooded area, came out into the open here towards the end of the turn, got shot by the ambushing section there, and then the machine gun in the top story of the building. The 6-pounder took a shot at the Panzer IV, hit but didn't penetrate, and for the 3rd time the mortar section over there went down, failed its orders, so they got rattled by that preliminary bombardment. So the Germans have got to this hard cover here within charge range of that front dug-in section, but I'm not sure they got the numbers, because there's another section waiting to support them. There's also a Piet and commander and a Bren gun, and over here the other 2 Panzer Grenadier sections starting to take casualties. So I think the Panzer IVs have to move forward to assist a bit more.
Okay, the Panzers cautiously approaching, trading shots with the 6-pounder and the Sherman. Again, the mortar went down. Germans have advanced behind this hard cover, this rocky outcropping here. Panzers continued just supporting them from over here. The infantry took a few losses. The other section here is still intact, and these guys charged out into the open towards the end of the turn, the idea being that if I could put some pins on here and they took an early dice on turn 4, they could charge in and assault this trench. These guys also advanced to support them. Didn't quite come off. Ambushing section here, ambushing medium machine gun, let rip, and killed 3 or 4 of the attacking Panzer Grenadiers.
Turn 4. At the end of the turn, the British charged out here, hoping to get the first dice next turn to assault over there. The infantry in the foxholes saw off the German assault, lost a couple of troops but killed the attacking squad. Panzers have stalled. They're engaged in a gun jaw with the Sherman. The 6-pounder missed, and over here the Germans charged and took that front trench. Panzer IVs moving up to a support, and in the building back there is a heavy machine gun and the mortar ranged in here on that section. So British are holding their ground. Moving on to turn number 5.
So the British advanced out of this trench or these foxholes to try and deal with the advancing Panzer Grenadiers. Maybe that'd be better to have stayed in there. Foxholes didn't quite turn out, as we'll see in the next turn. Over here, the British just holding their positions. Panzers advance. Germans have got into this foxhole. They've driven out the British infantry from there.
Turn 5, lots of assaults went in. British counterattacked, took this front trench back off the Germans, then the Panzer advanced, didn't kill any, and the British held their ground. Sherman traded shots with Panzer IVs. Panzer IV over here took out the Sherman. British charged, took out that squad, then the German lieutenant charged and overran this squad. So it's only the machine gun contesting that objective at present. Staghound's still throwing away. So yeah, brutal. On to turn 6.
So a bit of a topsy-turvy turn. The German Panzer Grenadiers were killed when the British assaulted out here, but the German lieutenant and his NCO, they assaulted and killed the section in here, so captured that line of foxholes, and there was only the medium machine gun holding the objective from there. Continued trading blows over here with little effect, though the Sherman was taken out by the Panzer IV. The other Panzer IV advanced, assaulting the infantry in the foxholes, who retreated, and the Panzer Grenadiers were driven off as well. There's a few survivors of that second section that had charged from there. So the British are holding their positions, though only just by the looks of it.
Just a short turn 6. British counterattacked out of the wood, killed the German lieutenant and recaptured the trench. Germans therefore can't contest that objective. Panzer destroyed the Sherman, but can't take out the other infantry there and contest that. So Germans at this stage unable to capture either objective, so retreat back to their starting positions. Still got all 3 Panzer IVs active though, but have run out of infantry well and truly.
And just a bit of an overview. So Sherman advanced, missed the Panzer IV. Panzer IV fired back and knocked it out, but the Panzer IV is not able to capture this objective. There's still the observer and the lieutenant and the infantry there holding that objective, and the other objective is held by the medium machine gun team after the infantry storm back to counterattack the Germans that had reached that far. So again, as sometimes seems to be the case in bolt action, just not enough infantry to capture the objectives. All 3 panzers are still operational, but without infantry support, they've had to retreat. The Coldstream Guards have held their positions. So the British held their ground, which is what happened in reality. The Coldstream Guards held their positions for 12 days against numerous German attacks. The weather was terrible, snowy, cold, rainy, difficulties getting supplies, but when they handed over their positions, there was a lot of German dead in front of them, and when they came out of the line, they'd suffered 190 casualties. 50 men were sent to hospital suffering from frostbite, so really was pretty atrocious fighting conditions. The German counterattack was held by 30 Corps, and they inflicted heavy casualties on the attacking Panzer Grenadier divisions and the Hermann Göring division. So by February 8th, 30 Corps had spent itself and was not able to continue with the attacks. So the attack was called off. But they had breached the outer line of the Gustav. They had got across the Garigliano River, and it had achieved its aim in that it had held down 3 important German reserves, the 29th and 3rd and 90th Panzer Grenadier divisions, as well as the Hermann Göring division, kept them away from interfering at Anzio. So from that point of view, on a strategic level, the attack across the Garigliano Operation Panther had been a success, even if it didn't achieve all its objectives or get in behind the Cassino line. So the next game, we're going to change our focus. We're going to look at the infamous crossing of the Rapido by the American 34th Texas Division, which after the war there was a lot of controversy about that attack because it was not very successful, would be a bit of an understatement, but we'll save that for our next battle. So thanks very much for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if my camera from my phone catches a wee bit of noise here and there, but that's about the best technology I have at present. Maybe I need to look into getting a bit more upskilled in using video technology. But in the meantime, it is what it is. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, ka kite anō. Take care, everybody.